What separates high achievers from the rest? How can someone go from being broke to wealthy beyond their dreams? From being fat to a world-class athlete? From being underconfident to being in absolutely tremendous mental shape? Jay Potic is a corporate professional turned author, speaker, and coach. Throughout his professional and entrepreneurial career of over 14 years, he's impacted 50,000 plus lives across 7 countries. Join him as we take a closer look at the stories and methods of ordinary people who've achieved extraordinary results regardless of the difficult circumstances we all face in life. Welcome to the Alpha X Podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Jay Parekh, and this is the Alpha X Podcast. Today, we're going to continue the conversation that I was having with Professor Carlos Almeida, my mentor in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and a great guy, entrepreneur, has his own podcast, the Cafe Jiu Jitsu Podcast. You should go check that out. And it's going to be a very interesting conversation like the last one. If you haven't heard the last one, got to go hear that one, because we talked about some really, really important things if you're into martial arts, fitness, if you want to grow in life, succeed in life. And today's conversation is a lot of that, but we also talk about some other, interests that we have. For example, if you're a coffee fan, you don't want to miss what we're going to talk about today. So without any more to do, without anything more to say, let's get started with the episode. Cue the transition.
Brother, I got very, very interested when you said about coffee in Thailand. Can you say a little bit more for me about this?
Well, I'm a big coffee guy. I love it. And I've actually done a fair amount of research into coffee as well, because some people say, coffee is good for you. Some people say that it's not so good for you. Some people are in between. But I love coffee, and I've actually looked into it from a scientific perspective and read the studies. And, for most people, coffee is actually fantastic for your health. It has a lot of antioxidants, and that really helps, especially the fresh coffee. I'm not talking so much about the stuff that's freeze dried and all that, but the fresh coffee, the beans that's grounded up, and that's the way I like it myself. I have my favorite store over here, and I'll go over there and pick it up and grind it, get it ground and brought back. And I like to drink my coffee black. I love black coffee, and because I really like to taste the flavor of the coffee. In fact, Professor, just on Monday is the first time I tried the most expensive coffee in the world, the Copa Luwak. I don't know if you've heard of the Copa Luwak.
But I never been there. Trust me.
Yeah. So I have a friend, and she's actually brought some Copa Luwak here to India with her. And, I tried it out, and oh my God, it is such a different experience. Like, it tastes almost fruity. It's so smooth. It was amazing. It's nuts. It's a very, very lovely. You must try it. You must try the Copa Luwak. And for everybody who doesn't know, Copa Luwak actually comes from the droppings of a certain animal. I forget the name of the animal, but there is an island where the coffee beans are grown, and the fruit is grown, and the animal actually eats the coffee, and then the coffee is actually made from the droppings of the animal. And so literally that's where the coffee actually comes from. There's a certain process it goes through naturally inside the animal, which gives it the flavor. So, it actually comes from the shit of the animal, but it is amazing. So, but coming back to the scientific research that I have read on coffee. There are 50% of the population are fast metabolizers of coffee, and 50% of the population are slow metabolizers. And especially for the fast metabolizers, who drink coffee and it processes quickly through them, they have the biggest benefit of coffee. Because they don't tend to get as jittery, or they don't get as hyped up on it, but they get all the positive benefits. And if you actually see the research, drinking coffee, let's say around 3 cups a day, will actually increase your lifespan. Rather, it decreases the chances. It decreases all chance mortality, which basically means that you're less likely to die. And they think that's because of the antioxidant properties and the different chemicals that exist within coffee. So drink up your coffee, guys. I mean, it's good for you, unless it makes you jittery and unless it makes you really nervous and stuff like that. Then maybe you want to stick to green tea. But otherwise, coffee is great for you. I love it.
So that means I'm in a good way, because I usually consume around 1 liter, 0.5, 1 liter, 0.7 of
Oh
coffee
my
per
God.
day.
That's a lot. I don't know about that, but I do know that you must definitely be a fast metabolizer, and I think you've gotten habituated. How long have you been drinking like that much coffee?
That much, I guess, 5 years, 6 years at
Wow.
maximum. Before, I usually take, but not that much. But I start to think about this. Of course, here you are a cough scientist here, not me. Uh, but before, I usually took like 500 milliliters, 700 milliliters. But then I guess my body start to be not fulfilled with caffeine. Then
Yeah.
I start to increase and increase and increase, and now for nowadays 1 liter and a half, it's the average consumption per day.
Wow, that's incredible. I don't know how I would do in that with that much coffee. I don't think I'd be able to function very well. But I think what has probably happened, if you'd like me to go into, would you like me to go into what I think has probably happened over here?
Yes, please.
So, the coffee, the kick that we get from coffee actually comes from the burst of energy actually comes from when the caffeine goes into our brains, and it sticks to adenosine receptors. So adenosine receptors in the brain, basically once those receptors are activated, that's when we get energy. Sorry, that's when we get sleepy. Okay.
Right, right.
So it's adenosine in the brain. Once it attaches itself to an adenosine receptor, we get sleepy. What happens when we drink coffee is that the caffeine goes instead and binds to that receptor. So the adenosine in our brain has nowhere to go, and that is why we don't get sleepy. Suddenly we get a burst of energy. But the problem is, what the brain does is it starts creating more adenosine receptors. So to compensate, what's happening is your brain is adjusting to the coffee by creating more receptors. And so you just need to drink more coffee to bind more receptors. But the good thing is, yeah, but the good thing is that the process can reverse. So if somebody were to go off of coffee for, let's say, 15 days, then the brain would recalibrate and would go back to the original adenosine receptor capacity. And then the tolerance would go down, and you would not need as much coffee to feel the same effect. So what I do is I sometimes cycle off coffee. I'll stop drinking coffee for a week, 10 days, 12 days, something like that. I'll stop it. And I realize that my tolerance then doesn't go up, and I still get that kick from 1 or 2 cups of coffee, you know. And that's what I do, at least.
I got it. I got it. But I have a question for you. And what if I don't want to stop to drink my coffee, my 1.5, 1.7 liter of coffee?
So, as long as you're healthy, otherwise, Professor, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I can't say, because I don't think there has been any study that I have read that actually looks at that level of consumption. So I don't know. I can't say what would be the long-term effects, you know. So it depends, I guess, on the way that you feel, and if you're feeling good, then that's something that you have to decide upon. But if you think that somewhere something is not right, then I would look into that. I would see what needs to be done. But yeah, I if because I don't know, I can't say. There hasn't been any research with that, because I think out of everyone that I know, I've never heard of someone consuming like 1.5 liters of coffee. I know a lot of people who are into coffee, but that's a lot. So I don't know. I can't say.
Okay,
I
okay.
can't say.
I'm also worried because if I stop it, like you said, 1 week, 10 days, maybe I kill someone here. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
It's
it's
dangerous.
dangerous. It's dangerous. I agree.
Also,
I agree.
because on that time under COVID lockdown, I will kill someone from my family. That's not definitely not good.
That's counterproductive for sure, because the family is together. We're in isolation to protect ourselves, and not die, and then this happens. That would not be a good look. But but maybe if you are worried about it, then try decaf for some time, because I think personally I enjoy the flavor of coffee a lot more than the kick that it gives. I enjoy the feeling of sitting with a warm cup of coffee, of black coffee. I enjoy the taste. I enjoy the aroma. And it is that's part of the allure for me. So give it a. I mean, I don't know. Give it a shot. See how you feel. What's the worst, really? I mean, except one person will die. Big deal. No problem. We're overpopulated as it is in this world.
Yeah, yeah. And Jay,
Just make sure you're not at home when you're in that mode. You can be
yeah,
out somewhere on the
that's
road. Yeah.
good idea. That's good idea. On my next visit on Mumbai, I will do this coffee-free week. But then probably we will need to reduce BJJ sessions for just one per day because I don't feel energetic for this.
Yeah, yeah. But it's funny, one thing that I've found is it feels that way when you first start to move, but once you're in the movement, the human body takes over, and suddenly energy kind of kicks up, especially when you're doing something like jiu-jitsu or sparring. I've come into the gym so many times. I'm sure you felt this as well sometimes, where you come in all beat up and tired, but once the sparring begins, once the rolling begins, just the energy comes from somewhere, and you can keep going. Like, I've felt like so tired, but then once the sparring starts, you can go 45 minutes, 1 hour, and you still want to keep going. I don't know about you, but I've definitely felt that myself.
Yeah, same here, same here. That's one of the beauty of BJJ, in my opinion, bro. Because even if you had a really hard day in your job, or some people who play jiu-jitsu also work with very hard job. They build buildings, they do some physical work. They
Mm-hmm.
got so tired, but when they step on the mat and start to do some techniques, it's okay, 50-50. But when the rolling session started, man, that's become crazy. It's like a dog fight, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, there's so much adrenaline flowing through the system. It's such a rush. And I think that's exactly it, right? Like the human body is like, the years of, we've had, I think, what, 500,000 years of evolution, you know, with this genetics, with the body, with the mind that we have right now, and we are not built to live a comfortable life. We thrive when we step out of our comfort zone. We thrive when we push ourselves. That's because our ancestors did not have it as easy as we, like, we live a very comfortable, cushy life. Our ancestors had to fight for every meal. They were hunters, and they would go out, and if they wouldn't hunt, then they're not going to survive, and they need to protect their tribe with from rival tribes. And it was a very stressful environment, and that's where we come from. That's our origin. And we're not living in accordance to that anymore, which is why we've become so soft, and we need to get back to that, because that's where the progress lies. That's where we grow as as individuals and as a humanity. you know so I think that's what I think martial arts and jiu-jitsu helps us tap into, that part of ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And also, they are so busy. Every single minute from them, it's huge in value, because as you said, they have many things to do. And nowadays, of course, before this lockdown happens, few people doing a really busy life, because most of people said, okay, today I was 20, 13 hours on the office and this and that. But to be honest, how many hours, productive hours, I mean, you did? And they
Yeah.
even don't know. Then don't even know, because it's a different approach. They, of course, they are there because they want to uh, uh, their salary to keep their family up, but it's not the same way, before, or you live and do something for your life and feed your family, or that's it will be your last day. Nowadays it's not like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you said how many hours of those are productive, there is a theory, a saying rather, that the work will fill the number of hours that are available. So it's not that, if you have 8 hours or 10 hours in the office, then you're going to work for 10 hours. Whatever work you have will expand and fill those 10 hours. And this is something that I have realized when I stopped doing a job and I became an entrepreneur. And instead of working from a time perspective, putting in X number of hours every day, I started working based on the things I had to do, task perspective. So I have to get done this every day. Now that could take me 4 hours, or that could take me 14 hours. It doesn't matter. I need to get it done. And my perspective changed, and my association with money changed, because money did not come from working a specific number of hours. It came from doing meaningful things, doing things that mattered, and that may not take so much time. I just have to create an impact, but I could do that in 1 hour, and it's doing good things in the world, and that leaves me with more time to develop myself, to train, to be with my family, to spend time with my friends. And I think that's much better quality of life. I could do nothing. In fact, be doing nothing is also fine. It's actually a very, I feel, I was reading this book, you were asking me about it, by Ryan Holiday, Stillness is the Key. And one of the key concept of that book is to not do too much, to take time out and actually be still and do nothing. Because if we don't do that, if we're just constantly moving and constantly doing things, we're never really resting, we're never really at peace, and we're never really giving our mind time to breathe and time to digest everything that's going on, and it's just chaos then. So I think it's really, really important to, I think, change that association. And I think the world is coming out of that. With COVID-19 and the pandemic and the lockdown, a lot of people, at least in India, are working from home, and they're beginning to realize how to, look at work from a task perspective and no longer from the time-bound perspective. I need to work 8 hours a day, for it to be, or 10 hours a day, or 12 hours a day for it to be meaningful. I think the days of that are long gone. It's now what meaningful impact can I do, to my company, to my work, to my clients, and how will that help their life and improve their life? That's the focus.
Right, right. So I have to say, you really inspired me to be a really, really successful businessman, entrepreneur, and a martial artist, because you doing all these things with your best, and you are successful on this. And I became inspired, bro, for sure. Of course, some people probably will say, because you are friends and this and that, that's why you say these nice words. But man, I really live with some people over here in Brazil. They have an entrepreneur mind, but they just do this, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or they are martial artists and they just do this. People
Mm-hmm.
usually don't have this good management to be a lot of things and do all of these things in a good way. In my mind, that's why the people still keep their minds on a regular job. I need to be an entrepreneur for 8 hours a day, and I want to do a martial artist 4 hours a day. I Because when I talk to people, they don't say that, but when they express themselves, you can feel that. I
Yeah.
don't even know if it's from them, or they don't even know that's happened on their minds. But I felt that happen. That's why you are so inspired me.
Thank you so much, Professor. I really appreciate that. But I don't give myself a choice because I have only one life. If I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? If I don't follow my dreams now, when am I going to when will I do it? Because I'm already 32, and I mean, that doesn't seem like, I mean, I'm sure, a lot of people will say, oh, that's young. It is young, but it isn't like, a lot of people, the average life expectancy in the world is, I think, 72, which means I'm closing halfway there, you know and it's a fact, and people need to look at their lives and see if they're okay living the way that they're living. If they're okay being mediocre, then that's fine, no judgment there. But if you're not, what are you doing? Do something, and change. It's uncomfortable, it's difficult, it is not going to be, all roses, and it will be difficult to do, but do it, because you have only one life. And that's what jiu-jitsu teaches us as well. Like, you gotta, if you're not gonna go for it, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the match, and you're gonna lose at life if you don't go for it. So that's the way I think. My life is my mat, in a way. And I have to do it. I don't have a choice.
Perfect, perfect. I really like some expression of what Joe Rogan, you know Joe Rogan, of course, right?
Of course, of course.
And he said, if your life was a movie, who will be the hero on your own movie?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so that's perfect because be the hero of your own movie. Most of people just give the time and give their lives for something they don't believe or don't feel excited to be. That's a really negative in my perspective because, as you said, one life, man. uh, how many years you can live, nobody
Yeah.
knows. So if you live maybe 50 years, an example. Okay, first 10 years you were a kid, you enjoy a bit probably, and then you start to be schooling properly, and then you start to work. And if you don't do anything because you are happy to do, what are you doing here, right?
Yeah. How are you, living? Like, are you living or are you surviving? And that's a choice that every person needs to make. And, there are a lot of people. So I work with a lot of people, that want to do great things. But when it comes, when the time comes to make a decision, they'll make excuses. "Oh, I don't have the time. I'm too busy with my job. Or, I don't have the money right now. I can't do something. And I just look at them and I tell them, listen, your life is ending one day at a time. And I don't know if you've seen Fight Club, but that's a quote directly from there. I love that movie, by the way. Have you seen Fight Club?
Yes, yes, that's
I
a
love that movie.
classic.
Classic movie. And he says, your day is ending, your life is ending one day at a time. And that's what's happening over here. And it's just getting wasted. And people they operate from, I understand where they're coming from because I used to have the same perspective once upon a time. When I was working my corporate job, I did it for 12 years. And I understand what they mean when they're looking at the comfort of that paycheck. But the thing is, and the pandemic has shown us that there is that safety and security that a job offers is an illusion, because so many jobs went up in smoke when the pandemic came. So many people are unemployed. So many people are not getting paid their salaries, or their salaries have been reduced because companies are not making money, right? Me, on the other hand, I'm in charge of my own income. So I have not seen that difficulty because, I work with people and I'm in charge. I know I pay myself. But if I had not gone through that initial struggle of building that up for myself, of investing in myself, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's going out there and finding a mentor and learning from that person, if I had not stretched myself to do all of those things, then I would also be worried right now in the pandemic, because I know that you know uh, I would not be able to support my family just with a job, or just with what's going on right now in the world. So I look at them and I say that, listen, don't operate from that limited belief system. We all have limiting belief systems and we all have empowering belief systems. And most people, when it comes to stepping out of their comfort zone, they start, they start thinking about limiting beliefs that they have in their head, and it becomes excuses like, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I can't do it right now, maybe I won't be able to do it, and all of these things start playing in their mind. But if they were to just listen to the other part of themselves, there's also a part of themselves which is their true self, which is, the achiever, the warrior inside of them, the person who's a provider, the person who's a contributor, who will go out and give their gift to the world, the gift that lies deep within inside them. Like, I know your gift is jiu-jitsu, you know And my gift, I hope, is, helping people realize the power that they have within, and being able to go ahead and give that gift to the world to your fullest. When you are in that mode and you realize that, okay, yes, this is something that, it's really important for me, this is my purpose in life, and my belief system supports that I can do it. Listen to that part of yourself, because if you listen to the limited beliefs that you have, then you're going to have a limited life.
Exactly. Uh, I just want to give people what is good and what is working for me. As you said, all of us has one kind of gift. If I felt, I tried before and it's not good, I don't spread this with people. I don't say, okay, do this, because I already know that's not working. Even in BJJ, in life, in many things, in financial behavior or something like this. But if something helps me in some way or working really well for me, of course, I want to spread this word, I want to share everything I can with all people. And because of Jiu-Jitsu, we start to do this, in my case specifically, early, because today I found a different situation. I did this, I did that, and works very well. Let's try. Okay, let's try. And people get engaged on this, and another person has another perspective and variations and this and that. It's like life. In life, we should do that, in my opinion, because as you said, most of people get comfortable on that paycheck, but then suddenly something happens, something bad happens, and then people became crazy. At least here, people became crazy because
It's true.
they don't have prepare yourself for any kind of stress.
Exactly.
And that's bad because that's impact them first and then impact their families, not financially only, but also on the mindsets, also on their actions. And that's pretty bad in my opinion, bro.
Yeah, if people right now, if there's somebody listening right now who is going through a tough time, and all I'll say is, have you trained? Because when you do jujitsu, you're not going to go straight to the tournament and fight. You're going to train first, and training your mind is how you train for life, and you can do that through jujitsu. You can do that through so many other ways, but got to train your mind because that will prepare you for life. And if you're facing a hard time right now, ask yourself, have you trained? Are you prepared? Because when shit hits the fan, you're not going to rise to the level of your potential, but you will sink down to the level of your training.
Yeah.
Which is why, yeah, because that's why in Team Relentless, we train and we have these sessions where the whole idea is to break, and this is something that Vicky sir has taught me, and he will push you and push you and push you until you break, and that we are actually seeking the break at that point in time. And if you are, if you don't break in training, or if you require a lot of stress in training, you're facing that adversity day in and day out, then life or in competition is no big deal, because you've seen it, you faced it, you've seen the worst of it, and that's why you can face it in real life as well. So have you trained to break? Have you trained to be in this kind of stress and this kind of adversity in life? Is your mind ready? That's the question that I think most people need to ask themselves, even if they are not right now facing adversity, but they're worried, or even if they're not worried, but it's something that They need to ask, every person needs to ask themselves, are they ready? If things go bad, are they ready? Will they be okay? And I'm not saying financially, like you said, but their mindset, emotionally, their families, are they ready? That's what they need to ask.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I said financially because here the main issue is that on the people's mouth, okay, but
Same in
what?
India. Same
Yeah,
in India.
but what are you do now? What are you do now? I said, man, if you don't prepare yourself at least mentally before, now you can do nothing. By the way, bro, just to keep Team Relentless on the light spot. I know exactly what you said because every session, Vicky sir tried to take out my neck.
I asked him last time. I
Yeah,
asked him
yeah.
when he
I'm
was in
so
my
glad you
podcast.
asked them. You asked him. I'm so glad.
So I think he said something about surviving.
He's a liar on that matter. He smashed me all the time.
I hope you're listening, Vicky sir. Lovely, Professor. Lovely.
Uh,
Um,
Go ahead.
no,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, no. I was just waiting for you. Go ahead.
Okay. How do you see the fight scenario? Of course, uh, in my perspective, in my mind, you are in the most popular and the huge BJJ and MMA academy in India, Team Relentless. But because you have a different approach, how you see the fight scenario in BJJ and MMA in India before this outbreak? Because before you said when you went in Thailand, not so many guys training jiu-jitsu with a properly gi in your country and this and that. And how you see these things right now, and how big is the MMA scenario over there?
So it's definitely getting better, Professor. I mean, honestly, I think Vicky sir, I'm sure he must have also, spoken to you about this, but he would be the right person to really go into detail. From my perspective, what I can see is it's definitely getting better than what it was 5 years ago. There's more opportunity, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be for, I think, fighters to be able to support themselves just by fighting. We've still not reached that stage, and there is a way to go before we can get there. Surely, this pandemic is also a bit of a setback, in that regard, because a lot of fighters' careers are just on hold. They can't even train. You know and it is a very sad situation. From my perspective, though, I have very big plans when it comes to helping people through the martial arts. So I'm, from a professional amateur point of view, the actual fighting, the promotions, the MMA bouts, and be it professional or amateur, or competition in the country. Vicky sir is looking at that, and he's developing world class fighters there. And I'm training with them every day. But for me, it's from a self development perspective. For me, it's about figuring out who you are through that process, and getting in touch with things that inside of you, that you may have rejected, getting in touch with the aggression, getting in touch with repressed emotions, getting in touch with that the child inside of you, and expressing that, and gaining power through that, gaining strength through that, and helping people understand what they are capable of. I have very big plans of expanding martial arts, not just in India, but throughout the world, using it as a vehicle for self improvement. You know, uh, that's what I want to do, and that I don't really see it being done so much, unfortunately. And I think there's so much potential to be explored over there, and I think it can help so many more people over there. Like except for certain countries that have martial arts as a way of life, like it's a sport in the country. You know, countries like India could really use something like this for people to get in touch with a side of them, their own potential, their own strength. So that's where I see it. From a professional point of view, definitely a long way to go, but we are getting better. And you're going to see some really incredible fighters on the main scenes very soon. So they are already here. I know who they are. I know the fighters and what they're capable of. And it's just a matter of time until they get on that main stage and they're wearing the gold around their waist. And you see, it's going to happen for sure.
Great, great. Uh, I have a new perspective from you, and also I can agree in a lot of points with you because I was in India in 2017 and then 2018, and I saw in loco, a lot of improvements over there. And as you said, from 5 years ago, oh, that's huge, huge. Of course, the population in India is big, big, really
Yeah.
big, and you can improve more and more as soon as this outbreak get done or under control. Well, which come first, right?
Yeah.
And I have seen a lot of potentials in India, not to be only national champion or Asia champion, but to be in the main organizations, like ONE FC, like UFC, like Bellator, because a lot of guys in India specifically, they have this feeling, inside them, inside themselves. They can adjust when they became experienced, of course, in MMA. They can understand and adapt very quickly in a different situation and start to maximize their performance about this.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And I can see it, it's going to happen. Just like, Conor McGregor came from Ireland and he was the first, mixed martial artist from the country to accomplish everything that he's accomplished. It's only a matter of time because I see the talent, it's there, and there are, there's Team Relentless and there are other teams as well. And they're doing their best. And I can see, people really growing in the sport, and I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm happy that I get to see how in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, what's going to happen. And everyone will also, everyone in the world is going to see what India is capable of, for sure.
Lovely, lovely, and absolutely many pro athletes from India will be on the spot on that time. I'm sure about this.
Thank you so much, coach.
You're most welcome, bro. Brother, if you don't mind, I want to call a coffee break for my partners on this podcast. And if you don't mind, we can do a little break, like a 40 seconds. The people who are listening will be with our partners. But stay tuned because in few seconds we are back with Jay Parekh, direct from India. Okay, guys. So few seconds and we'll be back. So, brother, on this time, I put some advertising here, like BJJ Connections and cervical kimonos, and also one guy here from Brazil. We are in touch, he want to monetize something, but we didn't finish anything. But it's good for me because I can start to make some money if that's happened. So when you are ready, we can return officially.
Lovely. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm all ready to go, and
Okay.
yeah.
So I expect to talk about your book and also about my complaint about Holiday book here, just in Portuguese. That's a bullshit. And
Oh,
yeah, because this don't make sense, man. Of course, if you know your population don't have many guys who can understand English, okay, you can do this version in Portuguese.
yeah.
But of course, give us an option to read the original one, you know?
Yeah, you know what I will do is I think I'm gonna take this clip and of the podcast, send it to Ryan Holiday. We can everybody listening, in fact, link send a tweet to Ryan Holiday or send it to him on Instagram and tell him this is bullshit. And we need an English version of his book in Brazil. I and let's bombard him and let's get him to do it. What do you say, Professor?
Perfect, perfect.
Let's do it.
My
Ryan, we're coming
pleasure
after
to
you.
do this. Also, I can tell him, okay, if you don't do this, I will be there and choke you.
I think that'll do the job.
So let's return, okay, brother?
So, you wanted to know about the book that I wrote a few months ago, and it was my second book actually. I've written two books. One is about the fundamentals of nutrition, which right now I it's not available, but maybe in the future I will make it available again. But the book that anyone can go ahead and get on Amazon, only the soft copy at this point in time. Only the ebook is available because of the pandemic, but because printing is not being done right now. But this book that I wrote was about my journey into changing my mindset and changing my behavior patterns so that I could become healthy. And it actually has the details of my system, the system that I have created to work with my clients, step by step, what people need to do in order for them to change the way that their mind works so that they can actually go ahead and live a healthy lifestyle. So like the problem I feel that people have is they're in they want to do better. Everybody wants to eat better. Everybody wants to become healthy. Everybody wants to have a great body. Everybody wants that deep down inside. The only reason that they don't do it is because either they don't believe that they can do it or that it's just too painful and they would rather stay the same. Now, the whole idea behind my book and my work, even the work that I'm doing with my clients, is that what if it wasn't that difficult? What if it wasn't hard to exercise? Like, what if your brain wanted you to do it? What if it wasn't hard to eat correctly? What if your brain wanted you to do it? How do you rewire? That's why the book is called Rewired for Weight Loss, because you're rewiring your brain to enjoy doing the things that are good for your body and enjoy doing the things that are healthy for you. And how do you do that? So I pretty much go into detail and I talk about my experiences, how I developed the system, what the system is. I walk people through a process, and people can read the book, and if they practice what they read, then they can start rewiring their minds and then start doing things that will help them become healthy, one small step at a time. So it's a combination of human psychology, of the psychology of behavior change, of nutrition science, and of exercise science. It's a combination of all of these things, and this is basically my life's work. This is what I have been doing so far. And that's pretty much what the book is about.
Yeah, I can't wait to read your book because, like I said, it's so inspirational. Also, because, as you said right now, it's what you know really works, and you give to your clients, and it's keep working. But I have a complaint again about your book. Not again about your book, but again I have a complaint because here in Brazil is not available.
It's very strange.
I don't know what the
Why that's
problem with my country, bro.
Okay, let me do one thing. Immediately after the call ends, I am gonna look into this and figure out why it's happening. I'm gonna send an angry email to Amazon because there should be no reason why it's not available. There's only one version, English version, and it is available everywhere in the world. And it's an ebook right now, so there's no problem with distribution. It should be available for everyone. So what I will do is I will figure it out and I will send you a link for it. I'm hoping that you can pick it up and you can share it with your listeners, because I really feel that the book has a lot that it can offer people. And it's not very expensive. I've purposely kept it very, 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 very affordable. Like anyone should be able to pick it up, because it's not about making money. It's about spreading the word and letting people know that there is a better way, you know. So it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard. It's actually very easy. There's enough difficulty in life as it is. Let's make this part easy, you know. So that's the whole idea behind the book. And let me send you the link right after the podcast ends.
Perfect, perfect. Because when you finish that book, you send me a message, right? And I was so excited. Then when I access to Amazon website here in Brazil, this book is not available. I said, okay, I want this in online version. Okay, it's not available. I said, man, what's the problem with the Amazon website here in Brazil?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna tweet to Jeff Bezos and complain to him. This is ridiculous. Really, I'm
Yes.
upset. It's worked really hard on that book, and it should be available everywhere. But I will do whatever I need to do.
Great, bro. Thank you so much in advance.
No problem. No problem.
Brother, I have a game on my podcast. If you don't mind, I want to play this game with you. Some questions have things to know with fighting, and some things have nothing to do with fighting. I call that the game. If you agree, you can play that with me.
Sure, sure. I would love to. I mean, I have no idea what it is, but let's do it. I mean, I'm excited.
It's simple questions. I just ask, please, just answer the first thing come inside your mind, okay?
Okay, done. Let's do it.
Great, great. So let's start it. Gi, black, blue, or white?
Black.
Great. Gi or no gi?
Nogi.
Why?
Because I really enjoy the speed in Nogi. I enjoy the speed of the game.
Nicest academy or place you have been to train or compete?
Team Relentless, hands down.
Awesome. Love Team Relentless. By the way, a few days ago, Vicky sir shared a video with all of you guys, and it's so inspired because a lot of Team Relentless members did some shoot of photo or even video.
Yeah,
And man, that's huge. That's huge,
yeah,
especially under this kind of situation all of us are living now, right?
yeah, yeah. It was so beautiful, and they really should now let the gyms start doing their thing. I mean, people depend on this for their livelihood, and I mean, the people who are training, they're healthy people and they know how to take care of themselves. Anyway, let's continue with the game.
Yes, yes, please. Which song you hear when you go to your session?
Song do I hear when I go? It keeps changing, Professor. Honestly, it keeps changing. But right now, I am listening to this song. I forget the name. It's called No Control. By C.G. Lewis, I think his name is. I'm not exactly sure, but it keeps changing. It's not like I don't have one. And I also like no, I think that's the one. That's the one that I'm listening to right now.
Great, great. Your favorite food?
My favorite food is chicken. Chicken, hands down. I love chicken. A huge chicken fan.
Awesome. The best quality in a training partner?
Trust, I think. I think that's the most important quality. Being able to trust your training partner is super important because you're putting your life, your safety in that person's hands.
Yeah. The main goal in your BJJ path?
To face adversity and to keep going in the face of adversity.
Favorite city you have visited?
Visited favorite city would be I think Phuket for now, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. The last one, winter or summer for training session and why?
Summer. I'm a
And
beach
why?
person. I'm a
Ah,
beach
great.
person. Yeah.
Great, great. So you beat me, J10-0. Easy, easy. You beat me. Congratulations.
Thank you. What do I win?
You gonna get a really good two hole when I be in Mumbai.
Thank you.
I will design only for you.
Thank you so much, Professor. I appreciate that. I
My
appreciate that.
pleasure, my pleasure. Jay, we coming to the end of the episode. It will be one of the the longest episode, but thanks
Yeah,
God
we've been.
you're an amazing person to get here on this podcast. Before we ending, leave to us a message for our listeners. Positive message, mindset message, or BJJ message. Uh, you can choose anyone you want and go ahead.
So, Professor, I actually, as a coach myself, I work as a coach, as a mindset coach, and
Yeah.
I help, as a mindset coach, and I think as any coach for that matter, I think it's really important to say the truth, you know. And I don't really believe in being positive just for the sake of being positive to try pump up people. Oh, you can do it, go for it. Is not, life is going to be great. And I don't agree with that. Unless you do something about it, life will not be great. Life will be mediocre. Life will be okay. Life will just go on. And I see a lot of people doing, their regular, they go to their school, they go to the college, they get a job, they get married, and they pay their bills, and they look after their children, and then they die, which is great in a way. But I think all of us have potential to do amazing things. And if anyone feels that they are not living up to their full potential, then that is enough of an indication that there is somewhere that they can push it. And I'm here to help. And so is, so is Professor. He's here to help as well. Reach out, guys. Reach out and don't be okay with mediocre. Don't settle. Don't settle because we have only one life. And if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? It doesn't matter if you are fat or thin or tall or short, but take care of your health. It doesn't matter where you are right now. Start now. It doesn't matter whether financially you're doing well or you're not doing well. It doesn't matter if you're too young, too old to start a business. It doesn't matter whether you've experienced losses before or you've never ever stepped into doing something by yourself. If you want to do it, all that matters is that you start now. If you have the slightest bit of inkling, and reach out, because it's okay to reach out. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay. Like, I'm afraid every time I step on the mat to spar. I'm afraid, and I'm not afraid to say that I'm afraid, because that gives me strength. I'm authentic, I'm honest. And be authentic and honest with yourself. And in life, when you get on the mat of your life, pretty much, think of it from the same perspective as you think of it when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Face the adversity, and see yourself grow. That's what I would say. But don't settle into mediocrity.
Great message, brother. Great message. I can't agree more with your message because it's huge. I hope it's give a huge impact on our listeners. Uh, and now, Jay, before we finish the episode, personally, I want to know your goals in BJJ, MMA. I don't know if you practice MMA yet, still. But let me know your goals for this year and next year in sports area.
So the first goal is to start training again, Professor. I can't tell you how torturous these last 3 months have been. I actually have been focusing on my business for the last 1 year as such anyway. So, I've been training a little less as compared to what I would normally like to. And then the pandemic happens, and I literally, I get my blue belt, and that's the last training session I had. And it's such a shame. I've been forced to retire as a blue belt, it feels like. And I know that there is a joke, a lot of people don't come back after they get their blue belts, but I've literally been forced to retire. And, I really want to get back on the mat. So number one is to, just get back into training. Definitely, I'm hoping that I can do some competitions. Maybe this year will not be possible because of the pandemic, but next year I want to travel, and I'm going to try and do at least 4 competitions next year, BJJ. And I have been flirting with the idea of getting back in the. I've not told Vicky sir this yet, but I'm flirting with the idea of getting back in the MMA ring as well. And I want to start sparring. I want to start practicing my striking again, and see how that goes. So that's another thing that's on my mind, because why not? We have one life. And I stopped doing MMA because of the risk of brain injury. It's something that I felt, a risk I wasn't ready to take. But then, I've seen so many people do it, and I think maybe somewhere I'm just a little scared, and that's why I have to do it now. Because then if I'm scared of something, then I have to do it. That's what it means to me. That's the way I think. So yeah, I need to figure that out as well. So definitely get back in the ring once more, just to experience it. And that's my BJJ and MMA goals for 2020 and 2021.
Great, great. So, Vicky, sir, we have a new face to punch, huh? Can't wait.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Brother, it was a really, really pleasure to having you here on the podcast. I hope our listeners can enjoy as much as I enjoyed here with you. You are an amazing human being, and your life perspectives and your life approach, it's really inspirational, and I just can be thankful enough. Okay, so as soon as I can, I will start to planning my India trip again with Vicky Sir and some other guys, and hope to see you there.
Absolutely. Absolutely, coach. Thank you so much for, everything that you have done for me. Your influence, has been so great because, when I met you for the first time, it was just the fact that you're so down to earth and so modest, and so humble and so good on the mats and as a human being that it inspired me. And I feel that the last 1 year has been an interesting year for me because I've been focusing on my growth, but that comes in part from the people around me, my mentors, people like Vicky sir, people like yourself who, have influenced me and shown me, the path, shown me maybe one day what I might be capable of. And for that, I am truly thankful.
I'm so thankful for your kind words, brother. I'm just a guy who consider myself blessed in some way because I can work with the sport what I love. It's just this. It's simple like that. I don't do anything exceptional, but I do my best. I try hard to spread the few things I know and the few things I feel in BJJ. That's it.
I think that's precisely what is exceptional about you, coach.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, coach. It was a pleasure being here with you on the podcast.
Okay, guys. So, guys, see you on the next podcast. Be in touch with us on social media. Jay, can you leave your Instagram account and other places the people can find you?
Absolutely. So, I have a website actually, www.jayparekh.co. And I have my social media as well. You can find me on Instagram at jay.parekh.official. That's j.parekh.official. And I'm on YouTube as well. You can YouTube Alpha X Podcast, which is the name of my podcast. It's ALPHA, Alpha X Podcast, and you can Google it as well. I'm on Facebook as well. Just type in Jay Parekh official or type in Alpha X, and you should get it. So yeah, I'm everywhere pretty much. I'm on Twitter as well. I'll send all the links to you, coach, so that you can put it up in your show notes or in the description. So it's easy for people to reach out if they want to. And again, thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure, and 2 hours have just flown by, and I'm sure we could keep talking, but I know time is limited, and I know it's pretty late for you over there. And thank you so much, but thank you so much for the opportunity.
You are most welcome, brother. So, guys, on the descriptions, you get all these links. Be in touch with us. Thank you again, Jay Parekh. And this is the last call of Jiu Jitsu Cafe podcast with Jay Parekh. See you then, guys. Bye-bye. Stay tuned. So that's it, brother. You wanna do something more with your podcast? You think something we did not in a good way? We need to record again. It's up to you.
No, I think we did it. I really enjoyed it. I think it was perfect. I think we integrated both my questions and your questions into the podcast, which was fantastic. So I think it was good, and we got 2 hours worth of footage here. In fact, I should just stop the recording and let that process so we can download it. So I'm going to do that right now.